ghost fans, music fans, how are y'all? I am the notorious B.I.B. And I went and saw the Ghost movie right here, right now. Not right here, right now, but right here, right now on Thursday night. I saw it like first night, opening night. I saw it, and these are my thoughts. So when I initially saw like the first announcement, on YouTube, I was like, oh wow, like no idea they were making a movie. I don't know about you guys if you heard rumors or anything. I didn't hear a thing. I'm just like, oh, there's a ghost movie? What the crap? That's crazy. So and then my next thought was like, well, it won't be like they won't show it here. You know what I mean? And they won't show it here in Podunk, USA. You know, I'm not in Los Angeles or New York or any like, right? I'm like that. They'll show it in those places or whatever, but like they're not going to show it here. Well, then the next announcement came, tickets are available. I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. And sure enough, 15 minutes from my friggin' house. Oh my gosh. So yeah, of course I'm going. I went, got my tickets, bought 2 tickets. And it was pretty sold out. Like there were only a few seats left. I was like, crap, man. Glad I got those. So that's awesome. And I heard people saying, oh, it's not available in my country or whatever. And I was like, wow, I guess I'm one of the lucky few. And I don't even know, like, how do you get a movie in theaters like that these days? How much does that cost? I mean, again, I thought maybe it'd be in a few like population centers or whatever, but here I am in Utah. I'm in the state of Utah here in the United States, just outside of Salt Lake City, and I thought, oh, maybe it would be in Salt Lake City, right? And I'd have to drive a ways, but no, 15 minutes from my house right here. Crazy. So yeah, so that was cool. Got my tickets. I was excited, ready to go. And they like promoted the hell out of this thing, man. Like, you saw all the YouTube ads and everything, before every video. It's like, oh, right here, right now, again, like I've seen the trailer. Like, thanks, I know it's happening, but like they just promoted the crap out of this thing, and it must have cost a lot of money, honestly, to make a movie, get it in theaters. I mean, again, I don't know how much it costs to get movies in theaters these days. I mean, an independent movie, especially, you know what I mean? So yeah, pretty wild. And I don't, and it wouldn't surprise me if they release that. They're gonna have to release this somehow eventually. And I don't know if that'll be on a streaming service. I don't know. This might be kind of a hard sell to a streaming service, but maybe, maybe Netflix would pick it up or something. I don't know. Maybe Amazon. Who knows? But I do think eventually it'll be on YouTube. If it doesn't get picked up by a streaming service, they'll definitely release it on YouTube. And it is a full-length movie. I was looking at my ticket as I was driving up, and going, it said like 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And I was like, is it really just an hour? It can't just be an hour. And it wasn't. It was like it was a full-length movie. I think it was like 2.5 hours. And I did not dress up. Okay. I did not put on a face paint. I don't really do that stuff. I don't dress up for Harry Potter. I don't dress up for whatever. That's just not something I do. And honestly, like I'm a very, I don't need to belong to anything, right? I mean, independently of myself, that's just not something I do. Like, I don't need to be part of a fandom. Okay. Like I enjoy Ghost. I enjoy the music. I don't really consider myself part of the fandom exactly. And I'm probably not Ghost target fan anyway. You know what I mean? I just have a very strong sense of self. Like, I know who I am. First, I'm a child of God. I believe that. Um, I'm Christian. You guys know that. Uh, and really, like, I'm me. I'm this is me. I know who I am. And the things I do, the things I engage in aren't necessarily me. Like, those don't, they're just things I do. They're things I enjoy. They're not my identity. You know what I mean? Even when I go to church, right? I go to church. I don't go there to be a part of something, a part of everyone else. Like, I go there to worship. It's a personal thing. You know, I'm glad other people are there too. That's fine. I associate with them. That's fine. But again, it's not my identity necessarily, right? Um, and so I didn't dress up. And honestly, like, everyone at my screening, we were probably like the most subdued bunch of Ghost fans that you'll ever see. There were a few people with like well, actually, quite a few of the people had their Ghost, concert tees, right? So that was cool. But no one, no face paint, no nuns, right? None of that stuff, right? It was just people. Um, and in fact, like, some people, like, there were probably three families there with mom and dad and kids, at least three that I saw. Um, so and just so you know, like, this is R rated, okay? It's not like hard R, I would say, but like, there's there's there are many F words, okay? I think, what, for PG-13, I think you can get away with like one F word. I think there were at least four or five, probably more than that in this. If you've seen the Imperator, like, he throws F bombs out every now and then, right? So, you know about how many to expect. So that's in it. That's part of the rated R-ness. Then there were like the dancing skeletons. Now, this isn't a spoiler because you saw the dancing skeletons in the trailer, right? Well, a couple of them are female and they are topless, and just like with body, it's just body paint, right? And actually, I mean, I guess that's probably like PG-13. So, but there is that, just so you know. So if you are bringing your kids, just know that stuff's in it. And probably, if you're Ghost fans, you probably don't care about that anyway. But I just thought I'd throw that in there. It is rated R. Not hard R, just R. But the storyline itself is like completely family friendly. I mean, like, yeah, they went very, very family oriented, for the storyline. It's very heartwarming in some places, even a little sappy in some places. Some parts I was just like, okay, sure. But they pulled it off. They really pulled off the story. For the most part, it was good, and it wasn't really intrusive. I honestly didn't know what to expect. Like, and that was refreshing, going into a movie, um, with no expectations. I mean, like, I had no idea, aside from the trailer and that little clip that they released of Copia, like, running backstage for a second and talking to his mom and then like coming back out. Like, okay, that wasn't much of a giveaway either. So I had no idea what this was going to be about, and so that was cool, because most movies these days, it's like, with the internet now, it's like you know everything about the movie practically before you ever see it, which is crazy. So yeah, so that was cool, just going into a movie not knowing anything about it, right? I mean, I knew obviously it was going to be a concert movie, but I had no idea what the storyline was going to be like, and I've seen, like, I've seen the Imperator a couple times on YouTube, right? I've watched the concerts, and so I was kind of like, oh, maybe it'll be like, I've seen that. Are they going to give me anything more? and oh boy, did they! It was way more. It was like, you know, uh, those concerts. It's like the sounds, the sounds crap usually, um, and you're a ways away from the stage or whatever, and so this was amazing. This was like right up close, you know, the shots. It was shot really well. Great close-ups of uh, Copia. I keep calling him Copia. I guess he's Papa now, but you know, great shots of Papa and the band, and just like close-ups. It's like you're right there, and it's amazing. And that's the first thing. The first thing I noticed about the movie, I mean, was just like the songs are amazing. I mean, I I I know Ghost. I know the songs, but like just just the first few songs, I was just like, this is amazing. Like it was just it was jamming. I was just jamming. I was so into it. The songs sound amazing. The sound's amazing. There's not a lot of noise. I mean, obviously, and they are live. It is live, but like the crowd noise is minimal. You can just like the songs are just clear and crisp and like perfect. It's so good. I was just those first few songs. I was just immersing myself in the songs, and I do listen to Ghost songs. I mean, they're on my playlist and they pop up every now and then, but like I haven't really sat down and listened to Ghost like this for a long time. And so those first few songs, I was just like, man, yeah, like these are so good. Like I've forgotten how amazing, how good musically Ghost music is. It's so good. So I was just so into it. Um, and the visuals as well. Like it's very well. The visuals and the sound, everything is just perfect. And the whole soundtrack is Ghost. Like even which was cool. It's cool that Ghost has enough um, enough of a catalog to actually like score an entire movie. You know what I mean? Like like their instrumental stuff and things were throughout the movie. In certain places. In the story too, in the storyline, like all the music was Ghost, and that was really cool. I did kind of zone out after a while, like towards the middle. I was just kind of like, oh, okay, another song. Yep, okay. It's a concert. I guess you kind of do that at a concert. It's like, the first bit is like it's just amazing, and then you kind of like get used to it, and you're just kind of like, okay, yeah, sure. You're just vibing or whatever. But then it picked up at the end again, and I was back into it. I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. He does the encore, right? They do the encore. That's amazing. Um, and yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. And they did they did all their deep cuts, right? They did some deep cuts. I mean, they played a song where I was like, okay, I know this song, but like I can't remember the name of it, and they did all their like satanic whatever, right, ritual and Year Zero, like they played them all, um, and so yeah, good stuff. And here's the thing too, like with Ghost, I thought that I thought maybe like going as I was driving to the movie, I'm thinking, this might be the one where they lose me, right? Like I've been thinking, um, and the thing about Ghost is like they ride this very thin line, right? It's like they ride this thin line between their fan base who's into the satanic whatever thing, and people like me, who are normies, I guess, Christian even, right? Um, they ride that line where it's just like they never quite cross the line to where I'm uncomfortable with them. You know what I mean? Um, and honestly, going to this movie, I'm like, what's this going to be? What's this going to be? And I was afraid that they were going to cross that line, right? And that they were going to alienate me and lose me. Because like, because they've always been really good about that, right? And that's, I think, part of their appeal, to me anyway. I can enjoy their stuff and not, you know, it's tongue in cheek enough, it's jokey enough that like, that I don't have to, that I know they're not really taking it seriously, but they kind of are. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a fine line. And with their with Jesus He Loves Me, okay, when that video came out, that almost crossed the line for me. I was like, okay, yeah. The hockey player scene, I'm just like, seriously, guys. The Genesis version of the song, right? I mean, that was poking fun, obviously, but it was still kind of lighthearted. It was still, you know, it wasn't. They didn't go for the throat, but Ghost really, like, I think went a little far. I mean, I think it was almost mean spirited in a lot of ways. And that one, so when that came out, I was just kind of like, okay, is this the direction Ghost is going to go? I don't know. And so when I'm going to see this movie, I'm like, are they going to cross the line finally? But they didn't, thank goodness. So they still have me as a fan, for whatever that's worth to them. I don't know if they want me as a fan or not. I don't know who they're going for. But they definitely, they've got to keep their their core fan base, obviously. But I think they also want to like appeal to to normies too, and they do that. So I was glad for that. I went alone. I tried to, I tried to get my boy Pauly G to come with me. I tried to get my boy Tony to come with me. And then I thought about my two brothers, but that was a little at the last minute, and I didn't end up asking either of them. My one brother, he's really into like Tina Turner, and when she died, Ghost had just come out with their version of "We Don't Need Another Hero," right? And I sent that to him. I was like, hey, this band I like covered Tina Turner, and he thought that was great. He was like, oh, that was awesome, thanks. So I thought about taking him, but I didn't. And then my other brother, he's like really into metal, but I think he kind of thinks Ghost. He likes Ghost, but he thinks they're kind of gay, right? Like, like, oh, they're not metal enough. He's in that camp, but he probably would have gone with me. But anyway, I ended up going alone. But still, it was awesome. I bought 2 seats, and then there was one other seat, and so like I just sat in the middle and like was just like bopping on the seats and whatever, like having a great time. I had it all to myself. It was kind of nice. And so going back to the music though, obviously, and I wasn't going to spoil this, but they already released the new song, obviously. So at the end credits, the whole end credits are basically a music video for the new song. The future is, what is it again? I forget. Anyway, it's Papa Nile, supposedly, right? Like one of his hits from the 60s. That's awesome. So that was great. That was an amazing way to end the movie. Because like I'm hearing a new Ghost song for the first time, that on opening night. Nobody else has heard this. That's, I was just like, oh, sweet. So that was awesome. And yeah, those are basically my thoughts on the new Ghost. I mean, the only Ghost movie. And I did wonder if, I wonder now, like, okay, what is it? What does this mean? what precedent does this set? Are they gonna go back? It's hard to go back to like the the lore videos on YouTube when you've made a full length motion picture, right? I mean, are they gonna do this for every uh, you know for every new era of Ghost, or what are they gonna do now? I don't know. It's interesting. But yeah, definitely, the music's awesome. If you've and again, I haven't been to any. They've come twice here, and I missed both of them. Couldn't get anyone to go with me. Kind of like I couldn't get anyone to go to the movie with me either. And so so I haven't seen any of their concerts. So if you've actually seen their concert, this probably won't be as amazing to you, right? Because you've already. I mean, it is basically just the Imperator. You know what I mean? So if you've seen that, you've seen most of the concert part of this movie. But of course, the lore, the story part, you haven't seen. So I wasn't able to bring anyone with me. I was hoping to bring, someone who is a normie, right? Like Polly G, because I wanted to get their perspective. So if you're a normie and you've seen this show, like, what did you think? Let me know in the comments. And even if you're not a normie, if you're a ghostie, leave me a comment, okay? But the story, they did make it so that if you are a normie, like if you're not someone who's familiar with the lore, I'm pretty. Again, I'm like really familiar with the lore. I've seen all the YouTube videos and whatever. So I'm just wondering, like, what would it like? Would this be accessible to a normie? I think it would. I think they put enough in it to set up the story and like so that people know kind of what's going on. But what do you? I'd be curious to know what you guys think after you see the movie, and. Is it accessible to someone who isn't familiar with Ghost? I think it mostly is. I think they did a good job with that, and they didn't go overboard with like, rehashing stuff we already know. I mean, they put just the right amount in to like let give you the lowdown, right? Without like tons of, too much, right? They didn't put too much in, and that was good. And not everybody knows about this movie. This is crazy. Like, I was talking to this kid in my neighborhood last night. We had a neighborhood party. I was like, I knew he was a Ghost fan. He went to the concert this summer. And I was like, hey, I just went and saw the Ghost movie last night. He's like, whoa, Ghost movie? What are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, there's a Ghost movie. You didn't know? Oh, okay. I thought everyone knew about this, but apparently not. I said, yeah, there's a Ghost movie, and go see it. And he's like, oh, I'm going to have to go see it. I don't know if he can even get tickets at this point, but yeah, great movie. It was good. It was great. If you're a fan, you'll love it. If you're a normie, a newbie, I think you'll still really enjoy it. And that's all I have to say about the movie. I guess if I get enough interest, maybe I'll do a spoiler review if you guys want a spoiler review, and if so, leave me a comment. We could do it. I could do another a spoiler version. Let me know. But love you guys. Thank you for joining me. Go see the movie if you haven't, and let me know what you thought of it. And I'll see you in the next video, baby.